Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 110 of Walking with Jay. Today's date is the 1st of September 2017. I'm your host, Jeremy Vincent Henry Larson, and I'm here in Washington, Utah with filmmaker Liz Baxter. Hi Liz, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm well, I can't complain. Well, I can, I do have the skill set.
My boss. Hot, so.
Yes, it is hot. Yeah, let's complain a little bit about this. It's like 105 still. Here's in my defense, when we set up this appointment today, it was cooler.
Yes,
and
I
thought the temperature was going to follow that trend, and it did not. It rebounded. So we're out here doing what my sister tells me not to do, which is walk in the heat. But so which way do you want to go here? You've walked this course before?
We can go this way if we want to go down and see like the bridge. I actually filmed my last movie partially here.
We're going to talk about that. And yeah. that last movie was called
The Infinite Paradox. Yes.
And okay, and we're going to go into all of that stuff here. Okay, because that's what you're here for, right? You're a filmmaker. By day, you work for Pepsi, right?
For Pepsi, yep.
That's very cool.
Sales rep for Pepsi.
Sales rep for Pepsi. All right, so I've watched all. You have 4 movies on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I've done a few more, but those are the ones that I have highlighted on my page.
Okay, so you got some secret movies that I don't know about. How old were you when you made your first movie?
It was 2008. And I can't math, but
I can't math either.
I think it was 20?
Right.
Yeah.
And so what was the inspiration behind that? What made Liz Baxter say, I want to make movies?
I mean, I've always been a huge film fan. Like, film has just always been my hobby, my life. And you know, I knew a few people in the area who did it, and when I heard about the guerrilla comps, that was the first time when I was like, hey, why couldn't I do that? And, you know, I just sat down.
How did you hear about the guerrilla competition?
Oh geez, it was probably through Sheldon. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to remember. I was taking some classes at Dixie at the time, and I was taking a screenwriting class.
Okay.
And a few people from that class wanted to enter as well. So I may have heard about it from them. I can't remember, and that's how I met Adam and everybody.
So you were actually, was that your major, like film, or?
No, at that time I was still undeclared.
Right.
And you know,
I'm
I just
still
ended
undeclared, for the record.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, I ended up dropping out after a couple of semesters. I've never like gotten a degree or anything, but you know, I may at some point be interested in taking some film classes. I just haven't done it yet.
So what's one thing that you learned in that screenwriting class?
Oh,
do you think that it's influenced the filmmaking?
Yeah, it helped with the did you want to go down?
Is that a dead end or no? I mean, we can do whatever you want.
It just kind of turns into dirt, but I learned a little bit more about like the technical side of it and like how to actually like structure a screenplay, you know, because I didn't know anything about film like when I first got into it. Like,
right.
Not that I know a lot now, but you know, I had no clue how to write a screenplay, how to like shoot anything, like, so
because that's really where it all starts though, right? As a screenplay, you gotta have...
Yeah. But...
And so, okay, so you took the screenplay class, you met some people there that are these people that are still friends of yours, that are still part of the filmmaking community here?
A couple of people I'm still in touch with. Some I just kind of see like tangentially, like on Facebook and stuff. But
right.
Yeah, I'm still close with a couple of people involved, and they're all people that are interested in film and in arts and stuff, you know. And so the film community, the art community here is so great because it's, you know, it's so close knit and like everyone's supportive of each other. So
seems like everyone knows everyone too.
Yeah.
And is that all because of the guerrilla film competition and stuff like that, or is that?
I think that is a huge part of it. I think that's definitely helped influence it.
This is super cool.
Yeah, it's really gorgeous right here.
Whoa!
It doesn't go any further, but
Right.
it's kind of cool.
Okay, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for walking with Jay. It's been a great episode.
And see.
So we'll turn around and go back the other way.
All right.
That was cool. It is pretty down there. See,
Yeah.
this is where I need the B-roll. Right? I need to come down here and film
Yeah.
some stuff to insert in. But I don't do that because I'm not producing. I'm just documenting. So anyway, oh gosh, I don't know what I'm talking about. So, okay, you're a filmmaker.
Yes.
We've established that.
Yes.
And I do want to talk about the 4 films that you have on there. I know you have some secret films that you didn't tell me about. And, either you're really embarrassed about them or else maybe you're holding them back for a later, like you're saving them for the right opportunity, or...
A couple of them. There is one that I want to put on my channel. It's on my old YouTube channel that I don't even have like the information for anymore.
Right.
It's like I need to log back in.
I do that
and
all
like
the time.
move.
And then you have to find your password. And
Yeah, so I just haven't gotten around to it. But
Right.
the other ones are just ones that, like, I'm glad that I made them because I got experience and I learned things from them, but I'm just not like super proud of them. Like, they didn't really turn out the way I wanted them to. So I
Right.
just, it's not that I'm like ashamed. I'm just like, I don't really see a point in putting them on here,
Right.
But
Right.
it's, every film, even ones that you end up not liking or that don't
You
turn out the way
learn
you
something
wanted.
from them, right?
Exactly. It's, every experience is a good experience because you've learned something from it. So
Well, let's go kind of backwards. And I don't know how much you want to... They're short movies. They're like 7 to 5 minutes. So, I mean, we can talk about the movies, but I don't know how much you want to talk about them without giving away too much,
I'm fine to talk about them. I love spoilers. So.
Okay, good. So, spoiler alert. If you don't want, put this on pause and go check out the movies. It'll take you, about a half hour, an hour?
Yeah,
So,
if you watch all of them.
You watch all of them twice, which you should. So let's go ahead and go kind of backwards chronologically. Okay, no, I think we're doing fine.
All right.
Let's start with the Infinite Paradox.
Okay.
And no, hold on. Here's what I kind of want to do.
Okay.
Of the 4 movies, I'm going to give you a short description, and you tell me which movie you think it is.
Okay.
Okay. And they're just going to be super short. Tender. To me,
Secret Santa?
yes.
Okay.
Okay, so she nailed it. Ladies and gentlemen, she's doing good on this Hollywood Brainbusters Live Edition.
I better ace this quiz.
You should ace
sad.
it. Creepy.
Creepy. The smile. I forgot
Totally
the title
creepy.
of my own movie.
So did I. That's why I'm having to do the... No, I'm just kidding. I've got them written down. Okay. Kind of disturbing.
Changes? I did warn you.
You did. You did. And then the other one would be, it's a drama, but it's also tender. Yeah.
The Infinite Paradox.
The Infinite Paradox, and I agree with you. The 2 that you said that you're most proud of were the Infinite Paradox and Secret Santa.
Yeah.
And there's something about Secret Santa. What is it about that one? Let's talk about that really
Okay.
quickly.
Yeah.
Give us a brief synopsis of it.
Okay. So,
I mean, the synopsis should be the whole story, though, right? I mean,
yeah, pretty much. So Secret Santa is an idea that I actually had tumbling around in my head for a while. And I just had little snippets, like the friend climbing up on the roof, like little ideas that I'm like, man, that would be really cute to put in a movie. But basically, it's about 2 neighborhood kids, a boy and a girl.
right.
And, they're growing up in a poor neighborhood. They don't have a lot. The boy's father is an alcoholic
Right.
who doesn't pay much attention to him. And the little girl is sad. They're out playing one day and he brings up Christmas and the little girl's sad and she's like, Santa never comes to my house.
Right.
And so the little boy decides that he wants to use his money that he has to buy his friend a Christmas present. And when he opens up his piggy bank, he finds a few dollars and a bunch of IOU notes from his dad.
Uh-huh.
And he goes to the store. he goes to the store and he wants to buy his friend this doll, and it's a doll that obviously is going to cost like $10 or $15.
Right.
But he gets up to the cashier and he's like, I have $3.45, you know, and the cashier's like, oh, what a coincidence, it costs $3.45. And so she takes the money and gives him the doll, and then the cashier puts the rest of the money in the register.
Right.
And
then there's a little breaking and entering scene.
yeah. So then the kid delves into the criminal world. No,
It's so fantastic.
it's such a twist. But no, so he like wraps up the present, and I know the scene probably goes on a little bit too long, but I just thought it was so cute and just adorable that I didn't have the heart to cut it at all. Like him trying to wrap
the
this
wrapping.
present.
Oh, that I related to that scene
Yeah.
so much of the movie because I'm so terrible at wrapping gifts. But yeah.
So he goes to her house, and he has these two coconut halves that they had been playing with earlier because
Right.
they were playing Monkey Python.
Right.
And he climbs up a ladder onto the roof of her house and starts pretending like he's reindeer.
Right.
And you hear him like almost fall off the roof, and she's laughing and she can hear him. And then he like sneaks in the house and like drops the present down, and you know, she like goes out and opens the present and hugs it, and then, you know, it just ends with the next day she comes up and gives him a hug and says Merry Christmas. And
right. It's just a very tender.
Yeah.
It's simple. I mean, it just really is a simple story, but at the same time, there's a huge heart to it. You know what I mean? There's just a huge tenderness to it. I guess that's why he's picked the word tender. I'm not a movie critic. We could get Adam Mast here, and he'd probably, you know, he'd write a whole article on it and whatnot. But no, but I really like that movie. And now let's talk about the Infinite Paradox a little bit. And then I want to talk about your creative process a little bit. So tell us a little bit of the Infinite. How did you come up with the idea for the Infinite Paradox?
It's kind of funny. I was actually loosely inspired by watching a Twitch gamer called Future Man Gaming.
Okay.
And I was like, man, a really funny idea would be like a time traveler who catches up to the day that he traveled back in time and then has like an existential crisis.
Right.
And when I first started like thinking of this idea, it was supposed to be like a straight up comedy. Like it was just gonna be like kind of slapstick almost.
Right.
So basically the story is he's a time traveler from the year 2017, and he goes back to the year 2005, and he has a bunch of like newspapers and articles and stuff about like tragedies and deaths and stuff that are going to happen, and so he starts saving lives and basically becomes a superhero. He's the man from the future
because he knows what's going to happen.
Yeah,
he predicts
so
it,
he
just intervenes.
Yeah, so he saves everybody, and then we catch up to the day that he left to go back in time.
Right.
And he realizes, like, I'm not the man from the future anymore.
He no longer has a Superman.
Yeah, so he's like, you know, what good am I? What use do I have if I'm not the man from the future and saving everybody? And you know, do you want me to spoil the ending, or
I don't know. No, listen. I think that one's a good one to leave as a cliffhanger a little bit. You got to find out. And how do they watch your movies?
Oh, my YouTube channel is Inglorious Baxter,
which is a very clever title because I looked up Liz Baxter and there's like 1,000 Liz Baxters on there. So
but there's only one Inglorious Baxter.
So very cool. All right, what else? Okay, so let's. Now let's do a little bit of backstory on Liz Baxter.
Okay.
Where'd you grow up?
Oh, how long do you have?
Yeah. 20 minutes. We got 7 more minutes to kill.
Okay. Well, so.
Not to kill. That's not that kind of movie.
I kind of grew up all over, which is kind of funny because it's sort of the reason why I'm so into film. So we moved around a lot growing up, and I lived in some pretty dangerous places that, you know, we couldn't just go run out in the street like all the other kids, you know. Like we could go outside, it wasn't that bad, but it's just, you know, we had to be with our parents or school or something, and so, you know, we just grew up reading comic books and playing video games and watching movies, and I just fell in love with movies, and that was just always what I wanted to do, you know. And I'm a little bit of an introvert. I like to stay home. I don't go out much. I'm kind of a homebody. Yeah. And you know, that's all I want to do is like I just want to watch movies, and like got to the.
Did you write too at the time? I mean, were you a writer?
I liked writing like creative stories and stuff like for school, you know. I loved storytelling, but I hadn't really written like my brother and I used to do little like stop action movies and stuff
cool.
like that, but
Yeah.
but I never really wrote like just a narrative film or
Right.
anything like that. But yeah, so I just, you
So
know,
why did you travel around so much? Was it were you military family or?
government. My dad's job is government, so
It's got to be hard because every time you move, you have to make new friends. You have to
yeah, well, it kind of contributes to the, you know,
introversion.
introvert part, yeah, and because I can chat with people, I can be friendly with people, you know, and like make friends, but you know, overall, generally, I like to just kind of stay in and
Right.
and watch movies.
Right. And now you make them too.
Yeah.
All right.
It's hot out here.
Yes, it is hot. Who picked this time of day? I can't believe I'm doing a 6 o'clock walk here in St. George, Utah. I was with Liz Baxter, you know, movie maker, what have you, so it's worth it.
Oh, I'm glad you think so.
Yeah.
And I forgot what your question was. I kind of went off on a tangent.
Well, I just learned that you're supposed to have awkward silences once in a while because that's when your guests will spill out some of the most off-the-wall kind of stuff. And I was hoping that would happen. You went with it too. You're used to the awkward silence. I guess.
Oh yeah. My trick. I'm like the Hulk. Like that's my secret. I'm
Nice.
always awkward. So.
Very good. Very cool. So what's your next project? Are you working on something now?
I don't really have anything in mind. I mean, I have a couple of things like tumbling around in my brain, and I want to work on projects outside of competitions because so far I've only done stuff for the guerrilla comps. Which
is that what all of these movies have been?
yeah,
for?
they were all for the
Wow.
guerrilla competitions, and I love it. Like it's a great outlet. It's a good resource. It's really helped with the learning experience. But you know, I have a couple of ideas that I would like to work on outside of like the confines of something else, you know.
Right.
But I just haven't gotten around to like actually writing them. I'll probably do one for Horror Fest, but I generally just like to get the theme and the limitations and then write something.
Right.
You know, I kind of feel like that helps. I don't really like to go in with like a solid idea and then rework it to fit the competition, you know.
Right,
that's not...
right. So you have to wait for the competition in order to get this.
Yeah.
And so does everyone who enters, do they get, everyone's films get shown? Is that how it works in this
Yes.
competition?
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah. Sometimes like if your film is too long or it, like it's not appropriate or something, they'll
Right.
take it out of like the actual competition part of it, or they'll show it like after, but it will still get shown.
Right.
Which is awesome. You know, Adam is really passionate about like supporting people and getting their work shown, and you know, it's just awesome like how good of a like resource he is
Right.
for like passionate filmmakers here.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So cool. How would you get your movie shown if you weren't doing it through a competition? I don't know anything about it, so I was just
You know, I haven't really thought that far ahead.
just make it and then
yeah,
find
I mean,
distribution later, or
yeah, you know, ultimately, like getting stuff into like festivals or getting like distribution would be awesome.
right.
But that's never really been like the goal for me. Like I've always really just liked making movies. You know, if I could just make movies with my friends forever, I would be happy.
Right.
You know, I don't really want to sell anything. I don't really want to like become a big name director or move to LA or anything like that. I just want to make movies. So if the only attention I ever get is just, you know, people on YouTube that like
Right.
it, that's enough for me. I
Well,
love
see,
that.
and that's what I like about YouTube, and that's what I like
Yeah.
about what we're doing here, is you really don't need permission to put it out. And the hard part is, I think, though, is trying to get attention, trying
Yeah.
to get people to watch it. And so I guess that's why we're doing this today, is just to say, go to Inglorious Baxter on YouTube, watch the videos. What else? What would you like them to do? Share them? How do they share?
yeah, if you-
subscribe. You've got some subscribers, but it's always nice to have more subscribers.
Yeah,
right?
I would love it if people would subscribe, and if you like my films, like share them. You know, there is not any greater feeling than like knowing that someone like laughed at your joke, or
Right.
that someone,
Right.
you know, teared up at your tender moment, or
Right.
you know, like just knowing that you wrote something that affected someone
Right.
so deeply. So like if you feel like that has
Happened
worked
for you,
yeah,
yeah.
or you know someone that would like one of these films, like absolutely. Please share them. And I would love to hear feedback and constructive criticism or
Right.
anything. You know, I love it all. So
Very cool.
yeah.
Yeah, and so share, subscribe, comment. Do you respond when people comment to your stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
See, I think that's so important.
If people have comments or questions or anything, you know, as long as it's not, you know, harassment, I will
Right.
absolutely respond.
Right.
So.
Well, you gotta have boundaries. you
Yeah,
know, so.
yeah.
All right. Well, that's 20 minutes. We did the walk
Yeah.
in the heat. Ladies and gentlemen, Liz Baxter, join us. Thanks for tuning in. We love you. Be kind to one another. Just be cool, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that
be
what we're
cool.
trying to do? Just be cool,
Be
people.
cool.
And
Go out and try to make the world a better place.
drink some Pepsi for Liz. All right. We'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers.
Thank you.